not diagnosed, but I think I may have had some close to like an asthma attack the other day. I'm not really sure.
All right.
But
all right.
lungs closed off and started wheezing and couldn't catch my breath.
Well, that's no good. All right.
Okay, I had an old albuterol inhaler from when I was sick back in February, and that was able to do quick.
Yeah, I remember that cold back in February. That's the one you gave to me, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's the play that's on.
I'm never going to let you live that down.
It's not funny right now, Scott.
It's not funny right now. Having a cold. Yeah, I was saying earlier this week when one of our other co-hosts, I was in a local drugstore when somebody coughed and everybody flinched.
Right?
Yeah, I was like, oh. All right, still the COVID thing. Have you learned anything from all this stay home, stay safe? Because you've been one of the best at it.
No, I haven't learned. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. But
all right, so I learned one thing.
What's that?
People don't like it.
No.
Nope.
People aren't good at.
Nope, they don't like it at all. Nope.
People don't like being told what to do.
Hey, somebody else getting told what to do. America's favorite mom, Lori Loughlin. Big major turn of events overnight. She actually, it's the first time I've seen her picture in the news where she isn't smiling. She pled guilty.
Yep.
Yeah, looks like it says here terms of her sentence, 2 months in prison and a $150,000 fine for trying to the college admissions scandal thing.
But you know how many celebrities and how many politicians pay for their kids to get into schools?
You know it happens all the time.
You know, it seems so weird and cherry picking to go after two people who just happen to get caught doing it.
Yeah, but you know we don't have that option to bribe an official to get our kids into a Ivy League school. So right. Yeah, there is an unfairness to it.
Right. Do you really think Trump was smart enough to get into college on his own?
Do I have to answer that? Let's say I think he was clever enough to get into college on his own. All right.
Yeah.
Clever enough. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
We'll go with that.
Are you looking forward to hitting the pools this summer? Well, prepare to put a face mask in your tote bag. Although you do not need to wear it in the water. But go ahead.
Oh, I heard the pool in Colville. They're not opening at all, right? They're going to stay closed the whole season.
I have not heard news on that one or got a notification, so don't want to propel dangerous rumors.
No.
But
no, I know they're not currently open, but I'm not sure if they will.
And I think that'd be to say it's not going to open, all summer right now. I'd say that might be jumping the gun a little bit, but maybe there's issues of you got to have employees to pull that stuff off. So
right, and if the pool.
All right, we lost Chuck there for a little bit. Larry comes back. On Wednesday, the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention published new guidelines for operating summer pools during the coronavirus pandemic. Documentation arrived a few days before Memorial Day weekend because that's when many outdoor pools typically open up and stuff. It says there is no evidence that the virus that causes COVID-19 can spread to people through water in pools, hot tubs, spas, or other play areas, so we're safe there. Yay!
I would imagine the chlorine would probably take care of anything.
Yes.
In the water, anyway. Not in the air.
Yeah. It says proper operation and maintenance, including disinfection with chlorine and bromine of these facilities, should inactivate the virus if it made it into the water. Nevertheless, the agency said, while there is ongoing community spread of the virus that causes it, it is important for individuals as well as owners and operators of these facilities to take steps to ensure health and safety. The CDC tailored following instructions toward pools operated by local governments, apartment complexes, homeowners associations, schools, water parks, and gyms. The guidelines do not specifically apply to private pools, of course, or those operated by hotels, cruise lines, and other travel-related businesses. Hey, raise your hands after the past couple years of news events and tell me if you'd like to take a cruise.
I have a cousin that just got back from one a few weeks ago.
No way.
He took a cruise during the middle of the shutdown.
Wow. I've read some stuff online of people taking some crazy vacations.
Yeah.
All right. And
she's like, I never could have afforded it otherwise. I'm like, you are insane. And of course, she had to be held for a couple extra days because somebody on the ship got sick.
Well, that's what you're asking for.
It turned out it wasn't coronavirus. It was like food poisoning or something, but still.
Once again, welcome to a cruise.
Right.
Food poisoning.
Right.
Welcome to a cruise. That's just another great side effect. All right, CDC suggested that pool operators encourage the use of cloth face coverings as feasible, noting that they are most essential in times when physical distancing is difficult. However, it advised that staff tell swimmers not to wear masks in the water because of the difficulty to breathe. And, you know, here at the CDC, I guess they just have to keep it simple for some of us. All right. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I just said that's crazy that anyone would think to wear a mask underwater.
Yeah. And then it says stay 6 feet apart in and out of the water, so no swimming next to each other.
What if you could swim next to each other underwater, but then once you get up to the surface,
spread out. That's right, 6 feet 6 feet apart. All right, and then it shows a bunch of kids on the side of a pool all lined up really close together. All right. It says keep frequently touched surfaces clean, pool ladders, lounge and deck chairs, tabletops, noodles. Keep your pool noodles clean. Kickboards, door handles, the showers, hand washing stations, diaper changing stations, that kind of stuff. So being smart. But, yeah, scary stuff. A lot of course, it is Memorial Day weekend coming up, and that's the traditional start of summer, right?
That's right. Yeah. I'm just wondering if Safeway is going to have ribs in the parking lot.
Ooh.
Of course. Because that's what I look forward to. That's my Memorial Day right there.
I could always tell when summer was starting because somewhere in the house you would hear a child say, I'm bored.
I'm bored.
Here's a book. Or summer usually begins when the air conditioner breaks.
I always tell my children only boring people are bored.
Oh, there you go. All right.
So I just looked it up, and the Colville pool is not open. They announced a few days ago the Colville pool will not be opening for the 2020 season.
All right, so they're not going to open it at all. I suppose once you get into it, trying to come up with the kids to play lifeguards and all that kind of stuff is kind of tough.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a new phrase that's out there because of the coronavirus. It's called mask-taken identity. That's when you think you recognize someone only to realize you're mistaken because half their face has been obscured by a mask. I can virtually, with all my new hair, I can put on a mask and go around town and virtually go unnoticed for the first time.
Actually, I would notice you from even a bigger distance now.
Because I'm so short?
I've been with you through the growth. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. You have seen me through Zoom. Yeah, Chuck's always spying on me. I walk by my computer, and there's his little head looking at me. It's only 4 inches big, which is kind of strange. All right.
It's a magnificent head of hair you have there, Scott.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, many people see Memorial Day as some sort of military-related day that gives them a 3-day weekend and special deals on cars and mattresses. There is a specific reason for this day. Memorial Day is a federal holiday in the United States remembering the people who died while serving in the country's armed forces. So don't forget that. It's not just a 3-day weekend. First official observance of Memorial Day was on May 30th in 1868. It was ordered by General John Logan. Flowers were placed on the graves of both Union and Confederate soldiers at the Arlington National Cemetery. From the Revolutionary War through the First Gulf War, some 651,000 U.S. service personnel have died in combat. A total that includes around 75,000 Confederates, too. Nearly half of all those deaths occurred in World War II, over 290,000.
Wow.
And now they said we've surpassed that number in coronavirus deaths. So here in the United States, that was a sad milestone.
I know. All right. And just to remind people, while any day is a good day to remember the people who have died for our country, this is the holiday to do that, not Labor Day.
Yes.
Just a reminder. Different holidays.
All right. Let's see here. I got a couple more little light stories. Well, let's do this one. Ever tag a friend? Tagging strangers is creepy, especially when you're supposed to practice social distancing. Here's a story. It says a guy, he was in line at the grocery store yesterday when he felt a hand on his neck playing with his shirt. He said he turned around to see an older woman who smiled and politely explained that she was just tucking in his shirt tag because it was poking out.
Touch my shirt.
After the initial shock, he said, I thanked her, and we joked about how having the tag out is almost as embarrassing as your zipper being down. And it was all a bit creepy.
Yeah, that is creepy.
Have you ever been tagged by a stranger?
I can't think of any. No, I don't think I have. Although there have been times when, with a button-up shirt, I've come home and realized that my one collar was tucked underneath, or the shirt was on inside out, or something.
That happens to me all the time, inside out.
All right. Yeah.
Scary things Chuck did as a kid that he doesn't let his kids do today.
Oh goodness, that's anything, man.
Chuck's first one, when he was a kid, he built a catapult. He'd never let his kids do that now. Was it?
I did.
Was it for cats or for you?
It was for G.I. Joes.
G.I. Joes, of course. Yes. Yes, my G.I. Joes and the little plastic. Did you have the little plastic army man too?
Of course.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I used to make the little plastic army men have a war with the little plastic cowboys.
Yep. I used to have the little tin cowboys and Indians. The little metal ones.
Oh, wow. Chuck also said his uncle used to load up in the back of his pickup truck and drive fast over the train tracks.
That's always a good day.
Yeah, we wouldn't let our kids do that now.
I can remember going to my cousin's house, and I'd get in. We played in the same little league together, and I'd get in her dad's truck, and he'd be sitting there with a beer tucked between his legs, driving across town, no seatbelt, in the back of the truck, driving to baseball games.
I have that same picture back in North Dakota. Some big 4-door boat of a car on a gravel road, looking down while I'm standing up in the front seat. 5 years old, looking down and seeing the car doing 80, and Dad's got a beer between his legs, and I'm standing up in the front seat.
Yep. Yeah, safety.
All right. Another thing me and Chuck used to do quite frequently as children that we don't let our kids do today. 2 words. Lawn darts. Can you even buy lawn darts anymore?
We have a set of current lawn darts.
And they're safety, right?
They're like weighted balls with the fletching on them, and there's rings, and you throw the weighted balls, or throw them the same way you do lawn darts, but they're the balls are heavy, so they hit the ground and just kind of thud.
You know why? Because at some point in some time, anybody that's seen the old school long darts, there's a kid somewhere who sharpened up the tips.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, a giant throwing star. All right. Let's see. One thing I'd never let my kid do is walk around barefoot in a trailer park.
Oh, God. No.
This guy says, I stepped on broken glass, barbed wire, a nail, and one time even a needle.
Ironically, the same cousin that I was talking about going to baseball games with, we used to play in the dumpsters in the trailer court where she lived.
Oh, nice! What a great place for the kids to hide.
Yeah, then we go run and go all day and go out in the fields and play in abandoned cars and swim in the cattle stock tanks. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
One time when I was preteen, I ran away from home, and at that time I lived at the motel that used to be the 49er. And I ran away to the other part across the street, because back there they had it got cleaned up, I think, when Ernie passed away, but there was all this old machinery, grain silos, and there was one that was tipped on its side, and I lived in that grain silo for 2 days. Nobody could find me.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, you got in through the chute with a rope. You got in and out. It was pretty cool. All right. we used to play across, over the railroad tracks now, where it would be where Hartel's is and Systech, and go back in there and play in all the old machinery that was all rusted and left there for years and years and years. We used to play in that all the time. You'd never let your kids do that today.
No.
Yeah. And would you let your kids go into the woods with a saw and cut grapevines to swing on? Nope.
Nope.
Here's one guy who's posted, when I was in the 8th grade, I went on a humanitarian trip to Mexico to help build a school. We took buses from Chicago to Juarez and didn't have enough seats for each student. Then the supervisors turned us loose at a flea market for about 4 hours.
I don't even know if they'd let us do that when I was kids.
Just 3 words here. Well, I guess 4. BB gun wars. Do you ever do that as a kid?
I don't know about BB gun wars, but we would do bottle rocket.
Yes, bottle rockets on a banana bike. Yeah.
Yeah, you take a pipe and stick bottle rockets in it. We even made our pipes look like guns, and we'd light a bottle rocket, stick it in there, and run around shooting each other with them.
Yes, I remember that. Ouch. And the last one here says, I'd ride my bike for miles away from sunrise until sunset. My parents didn't even know where I was.
I would take off on my bike and go to in the Tri-Cities before we moved to Alaska, and I would ride my bike to the transit bus.
We lost you again. A little problem with your Zoom connection. Yeah. It's funny to watch him on the camera because he's still talking and doing hand gestures, but yeah, he can't hear us. Are you back, Chuck? Oh, modern technology. All right, there you go. You're back in white now.
I'm back. Where'd I leave off?
You only got the first. You said when you were, and then you were gone.
No, I was just saying I used to ride my bike to the bus stop, the transit bus stop.
Okay.
And I'd get on the bus and just take the bus as far as it would take me.
And then and then ride it back home?
Yeah, take the bus back and drop me off at the stop and then ride my bike back home.
So we would, me and a buddy, our parents would tell us that we had to take the back roads. We would ride our bicycles from Chewelah to Loon Lake, staying on the back roads as, much as possible. You can do it. And so then we'd spend the night we'd go swimming, spend the night at his grandma's, and the next day we'd come back to Chewelah. But we would come down Highway 395 on our bikes. And just think of the hill coming down into Chewelah and how good it feels. Now think about a 11-year-old kid coming down that hill at about 40 miles an hour on a bicycle. Not a good idea. Yeah, parents would have killed us.
No.
Yes, kids, do not try that at home. All right.
I once built a bike ramp and put it at the bottom of a hill, like right at the bottom of a steep hill. That was a bad idea.
Oh, I went camping with some friends I had made, and they had 8 children. And as soon as we got to the campground, they started unloading the bikes out of the truck, and they started. He started shoveling. He found a good-sized hill, and he started shoveling jumps, and as soon as he gets done, the kids take off, ranged in size from like 16 to 5, right? These 8 kids. Mm-hmm. And each one of them, one by one, goes over the jump and just totally bites it. Each kid. And a couple of them cry. They got really messed up. The littlest one, I'm just thinking, this is a bad idea. And the dad's just like, "Ugh." And the littlest one takes off, does the jump over the front of the handlebars, bites it worse than anybody, gets up, with dirt in his eye and all covered in dust and stuff, and runs over screaming and high fives his dad. It was good. I was a little scared the rest of the camping trip. I'm just going to say that, all right?
That kid is going to grow up telling people to hold his beer. Yeah. Sure.
Hold my beer and watch this. I'm going to jump my truck.
Yo, I can get my truck. I actually broke the frame of my Toyota in half once in high school jumping it.
Really? Oh.
Snapped the frame right in half.
Wow.
In class. I was supposed to be in school. I was skipping.
Oh, see, we're telling all these things we did as naughty kids.
I know, right? A friend of mine said he could actually see the bottom of my truck because I went over the jump.
Hey, that looked really. If you were watching on YouTube, that gesture looked really cool there, Chuck.
What's that?
Because you did your eyes from one side of the screen to the other. It was pretty cool. Like something just flew over your head. All right.
This should be rainbow. The more you know.
These are things I woke up and found out I didn't know yesterday. All right. Gobbledygook makes more sense than gibberish.
On Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays only.
Yeah.
A cataclysm, much worse than a calamity. Apparently, according to scientists, penguins once as tall as people. Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
That would be fantastic.
I've watched you walk. I thought you were part penguin. Ooh, ow! You can pay me. You can pay me back on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna think of a good one for that.
All right, something to stay away from here. Guppies experience menopause.
How do you find that out?
I don't know. That's one depressed guppy.
You like give a mood test?
I guess, for guppies. Just 2% of men between 18 and 24 eat enough fruit and vegetables. I believe that.
I believe that for sure. I'm amazed it's that many.
Average Harley owner is 49.
That sounds exactly right.
And has a 16-inch beard.
I'm guessing the same could be said about Camaros.
Hey. Humpty Dumpty nursery rhyme never states that Humpty Dumpty is an egg.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. And every year, more than 600 Parisians are hospitalized after slipping on dog poo. Huh.
I can relate to that.
So if you go to Paris, be careful. All right.
I can relate to that.
Long-standing companies here in America that started off with different names. I'm curious if you've been around for a few years. I'm curious if you'll pick up on any of these. The only one I knew was Whirlpool. Do you know what Whirlpool used to be called?
No.
It was the Upton Machine Company.
The Upton. That sounds very formal.
So this is the one that really surprised me. Anheuser-Busch. You know, the makers, the beer company. Yeah. Their original name, Bavarian Brewery.
Yes, I did know that. I didn't remember it, but I did know that.
Avon was the California perfume company. And this one's weird. Best Buy. Original name, Sound of Music.
I'm guessing there was some copyright issues there.
Yeah. Dell Computers, original name, PCs Limited. Green Giant was actually the Minnesota Valley Canning Company. Green Giant. H&R Block was United Business Company. J.C. Penney was the Golden Rule Stores.
Wow.
How do they say that? L'Oreal, for the makeup company for ladies. They were the French Harmless Hair Dye Company.
I like L'Oreal better.
Yeah, I think so too. MetLife had a long one, too. The National Union Life and Limb Insurance Company. We're all southpaws here. Oh. Right? All right. Nike was the Blue Ribbon Sports. And that's it. All right. Chuck, do you use your turn signal?
I do, actually. I use it too much sometimes. I use it when not a turn. If there's a curve in the road, I'll put my turn signal on.
All right. Well, you're opposite of most people. 23% of people say they don't use their turn signal and blame laziness as the reason.
You know, when I was 21, I actually signed up to go to the State Trooper Academy. And my reasoning was that I wanted to pull over my roommate and give him a ticket because he never used his turn signal.
That was your reasoning for wanting to be a cop?
That was my motivation for wanting to be. Well, my dad was a cop too, but that was my main motivation, was so I could pull over my roommate for not using his turn signal.
All right, and I'm guessing you dropped out.
No, I never went.
Okay, you just signed up.
There's certain tests they give you before you can start that I wasn't able to pass.
All right. Let's see. 23% blamed laziness. 17% said they don't like to signal because they're afraid of forgetting to turn it off, which is my reason.
Driving down the road, click, click, click.
Hey, I hate it when somebody texts me and says, "Scott, your idiot light's on." Especially when I'm not driving.
Right?
11% say your signal's just not that important. It's a big moving object. They should see it turning. All right.
Right.
8% don't signal because other drivers don't. 7% said actually say that not signaling adds excitement to the driving experience. But I'm bummed.
I really hate towing a trailer with lights that don't work. When you go to turn, especially on the highway.
Oh yeah. They don't even know I'm slowing down.
Well, usually it's on when I'm going to the dump there by Loon Lake, and then the people.
Oh yeah, Chuck's having a hard time today. We lost him again. All right, and 2% say they simply do not have enough time to turn the turn signal on. It also says here, men are less likely to use turn signals than women, and young people signal more frequently than old people, which I find surprising. Huh.
That is interesting.
Yeah. All right, we're getting lots of dropout from you today, Chuck, but it's okay. Coming up in just a few minutes, in fact, I think we're going to go ahead and take a little break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Buddy Allen, and we're going to do some trivia and other stuff and put them head-to-head. And, Chuck, you ready for some coffee?
Yeah.
All right, stick around. It's your morning show right here at KCHW 102.7. And just to prove it to you, it's the Turtles and Happy Together on Northern Lights Public Radio.
Imagine me and you, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving a little closer to the router.
There you go. Yeah, it's funny too because it tells me afterwards. It's like I'll lose you, and then all of a sudden it goes yellow, and then it goes red, and then your microphone goes off, and then it comes back, and yeah, it's funny.
You know, it's weird because I'm getting a little bar that comes up that says it's my internet connection is unstable. But we pay for good internet.
Are you on the CenturyLink?
Spectrum.
Or Spectrum, I mean. What's on the, how many bars do you have on your Wi-Fi signal on your laptop there?
It's full. Huh. It's all the way. It says strong signal. I mean, I'm literally 3 feet from the router.
Well, that's weird. Yeah, because you think with the Spectrum, everybody in the house should be able to watch a movie at the same time and still stream a video out.
That's my router right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see if it mellows out a little bit. All right, I'm going to warm up my coffee, send some music down the line.
Okay.
And you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. Toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together, so happy together. And how is the weather? So happy